Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shouts out to the early birds, starting with Connie. What's up, Connie Hodge? Bookmarker. What's up? What's up? Ray. What it do? We got Linda Martinez. Hello. Darnell, what's up? Who was that? Casper. We got Alicia Smith, the conversation piece. Dee Dee, what it do? Is that Divinely Diane? Okay. Steeler fan. G-Man, what's up, G-Man? Heather Cole, Johnny B, Eric Hartwick. We got a Trilateral Commission, Patricia Lewis, Mr. Johnny Westside, formerly Chuck's, China Carter. What's up, China? Let's see. Trayvon McSellers, what it do? What's up, Alan? Checking in all the way from Australia. Frank Morales, what's up? Fam, y'all may not have noticed, but as I was reading some of the chat, I saw some dude had mentioned something about me not checking this person or that person. Let me tell y'all something, fam. First of all, I don't have problems with real dudes. Like, I'm talking about solid men, like real men. I don't have problems with type of dudes. It's always the funny bunny dudes. So, and I'll check them when that time comes. And I do it when I want to. I don't do it for the internet. You can't stick a battery in my back and make me react. It don't work like that. See, that's for all them emotional dudes. You know, you ain't got to do all that loud talking. You ain't got to be making threats. You know, you ain't got to do none of that to take care of your business. You dig what I'm saying? For example, I'm going to take care of some business right now. Let's talk about Netanyahu. Netanyahu appears to be alive. He recently, I think that's him, made some statements at a press conference. Before I play the video, I want to get in this little piece from the Hill. Netanyahu says revolution in Iran will require ground component to war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday said that overthrowing Iran's regime will require a ground component along with the revolution, as the U.S.-Israeli conflict with the Middle Eastern country nears the start of its fourth week. It is often said that you can't win. You can't do revolutions from the air. That is true, Netanyahu said in the press conference. I ain't gonna say anything else because he'll say it in the video, so I don't want to be redundant. But Netanyahu is responding. He has responded to a possible ground war in Iran. What I find interesting is he took a big back seat to the United States. At first, it seemed like he tried to make it seem like the United States and Israel were on the same level, like we're next to next. We know that U.S. is a superpower and, they're pretty much Iran's, backup, but I mean, not Iran, but Israel's backup. But Netanyahu today said, hey, like the United States is taking the lead on this, and we're pretty much like offering support. The whole while we're thinking, wait a minute, we thought that Trump attacked Iran, number one, to cover for the Epstein files, his possible role in the Epstein files, his role in the Epstein files. And secondly, to help out his buddies in Israel. That's what we was thinking, right? Well, not so fast, according to Netanyahu. So here's Netanyahu at the press conference today, letting you know where he stands in regards to the Iran conflict.
Welcome to the Foreign Press. First of all, I just want to say I'm alive, and you're all witnesses. And now that I dispatched this piece of fake news, I want to give you an update on Operation Roaring Lion. Under President Trump's visionary leadership, America and Israel are acting together in Iran with great determination and unprecedented strength. Operation Rising Lion is designed to remove the existential threats posed by the Ayatollah regime, the regime that has waged war against America and Israel and the people of Iran for 47 years. It chants death to America, death to Israel, and it delivers death to its own people. Our goals are three. One, removing the nuclear threat. Second, removing the ballistic missile threat, and removing both of these threats before they're buried deep underground and become immune from aerial attack. And third, this means creating the conditions for the Iranian people to grasp their freedom, to control their destiny. Today, the Ayatollah regime is not only attacking America, not only attacking Israel, not only attacking the Iranian people, it is attacking the entire Middle East and beyond. They've attacked civilians and American assets in Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and they've even attacked through their proxies Cyprus and Europe. We've warned for decades that their ballistic missile program would be used to attack these targets far and wide, and if they're not stopped, that's just the beginning. The death cult in Iran is trying to blackmail the world by closing a key international maritime route, the Straits of Hormuz. It won't work. Israel is helping in its own way, and intel and other means, the American effort to open the Straits of Hormuz, rather. But I want to ask you to imagine how the Ayatollah regime would be able to blackmail the entire world if they had ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Just imagine what they would do. Look at what they're doing now and imagine what they would do if they had ballistic missiles, international range ballistic missiles, and nuclear-tipped warheads. Just imagine what a great threat that would be. So today, Israel and the United States are protecting America, Israel, the entire Middle East, but I venture to say the entire world. Despite the fake news that is unfortunately being spread since the start of the war 20 days ago, we are winning and Iran is being decimated. Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed. Hundreds of their launchers have been destroyed, their stockpiles of missiles are being hit hard, and so are the industries that produce them. That's important. In Rising Line, we destroyed missiles and we destroyed a lot of the nuclear infrastructure. But what we're destroying now are the factories that produce the components to make these missiles and to make the nuclear weapons that they're trying to produce. We're wiping out their industrial base in a way that we didn't do before. Iran's air defenses have been rendered useless. Their navy is lying at the bottom of the sea. Today we hit the other part of their navy in the Caspian Sea. Their air force is nearly destroyed. Iran's command and control structure is in utter chaos. And I can tell you that there's still more work to do, and we're going to do it. And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations. In this case, those interests are absolutely clear, and so is the clarity of our achievements. Together in close coordination with President Trump, the close coordination between America and Israel, our militaries, our intelligence services, we're achieving goals in lightning speed. But I want to say another word. It's been said that for 40 years, I've been saying that Iran is a danger to Israel and a danger to the world. That is true. You know who else said that? President Trump. 47 years ago, when the Iranian thugs took over the American embassy, he said how dangerous this regime is. In his first term in office, he didn't need any convincing. He said the Iranian nuclear deal was the worst deal that he'd ever seen, and he walked out of it. Right before his second term, before he was reelected, I went to see him in Mar-a-Lago. The first thing he said to me was, "Baby, we've got to make sure that Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons." He said that to me. I didn't say it to him. He didn't need any convincing there either. Now, why did he say that? Because for more than 4 decades, this regime, as I said in the beginning of my remarks, is chanting death to Israel, death to America. But they say Israel is only the small Satan standing in their way. The great Satan is the United States of America. And these ideological fanatics, these lunatics, define their raison d'etre, their reason for being, is wiping out Western civilization and America that leads it. They have claimed the lives, they've maimed and wounded thousands of Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan. They killed the American Marines in Beirut. They bombed your embassies. They tried to assassinate the American president, Donald Trump, not once, but twice. Now they blackmail for oil. Just imagine what they would do, what they're capable of doing, if these lunatics had nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them to every American city and every European city. And our world.
Stop right there. We can stop right there. He said, just imagine what they're able to do if these lunatics had nuclear weapons. I know of a lunatic who has access to nuclear weapons. And the lunatic that I know started this war that we are in right now. Netanyahu can talk all this talk that he wants, but just because he said it does not mean it's true. It's like he want to hear himself say it. The crazy thing about words are, even if a lie is told, somebody's going to believe it. Even if it's a blatant lie, somebody's going to believe it, even if only the author of that lie believes it. Just because you saying that Iran is dangerous and they want to kill Americans and they want to do the end, they want to end Western civilization, does not make it true. If it was true, Iran would have built a nuclear weapon by now. Like, they've been putting pressure on Iran, talking about a nuclear weapon for 47 years, yet there's no nuclear weapon yet. Same thing with Iran. Talking about Iraq, same thing. Nuclear weapon. We went to war. Thousands of people, tens of thousands of people were killed. Could have been hundreds of thousands. We don't know. They always underreport the numbers. We don't know. They claim Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, but no weapons of mass destruction was found. So now I guess they said, well, look, we ain't even gonna claim they got weapons of mass destruction because we did that. We ran that play last time. This time we're gonna say they trying to get weapons of mass destruction. They're trying to build. It's almost like when a police officer kills somebody, or somebody trying to get into the mind of the police officer that says, well, I fear for my life. So the United States is saying, well, I fear for my life. That's why we bombed on them. We feared for our lives. Even though there was no threat, there was no direct threat from Iran at the time that the missiles and the bombs started hitting Iran. There was no evidence at all that Iran was planning to attack the United States of America or Israel. There was no evidence whatsoever. In fact, Iran was sitting at the table negotiating with America when they heard the bombs. Ain't that something? They were in the middle of a negotiation. And just like that, boom, bombs just ringing. See, in the past, the US and Israel could have spun this narrative and no one would have been the wiser. But since the advent of the internet, all that's changed. They can no longer get away with that. They can no longer get away with just saying this is what happened and the people just blindly believe it. Now, people got cameras and they say, yeah, we just blew up such. Now they can't control it with the boots on the ground anymore and just, having photographers who work for the military and keeping journalists out or holding on to the ones who've been paid off. They can't gatekeep like that anymore because everybody got one of these. You see? So everybody just like that, boom, just start recording. And the truth can come out now. So now that's why they keep on changing the narrative. That's why they keep on changing why they had to do this or that or that. Because the lie has to be the lie has to be a moving lie. It has to keep on moving the lie and reinventing the lie. When the lie run out, you got to create another lie to cover for the first lie you told. So you got to keep on lying. But I'm all over this social media, fam, and people ain't buying it. People are just not buying the lie. They are not buying the lie. And they doing a lot of lying. And in the past, they could have gotten away with that. But not now. Not now at all.
Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that...
Wait a minute, let me get this straight. Ain't nobody attacking me. Ain't nobody running up on me, punching on me. Ain't nobody shooting at me. But let me shoot at some people just in case they decide to shoot at me. Let me go sock somebody in the face just in case they're thinking about socking me in the face. Is that what he's saying? We got to reassert ourselves. For what? Is it for self-preservation, like life and liberty, or is it money, oil? Is it uranium? What is it?
A lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now. Doesn't obviate these truths. We have to be strong. We have to be armed. We have to be more powerful than the barbarians, or they will not be merely at the gate. They'll crash our gates and destroy our societies. That's what Israel is doing now with the United States. And I'm very proud of the fact that the Israeli people are standing strong, that the Israeli army is standing strong. We rose from October 7th. Our people, our soldiers rose like lions. But in protecting ourselves and in joining with our great American friends, would, if they have...
You mean the United States rose like lions? The United States soldiers rose like lions? Because from what I understand, y'all ain't lost nobody. There have been no casualties on the Israeli side. To me, that's akin to we having a bar fight and my friend hiding behind the bar. He's supposed to be helping me fight. Plus, he started the fight.
Don't hear even adversaries of the United States chanting death to America, death to the great Satan, massacring tens of thousands of their own people at will like that in 2 days. You have that sometimes. But the combination of fanaticism, deep ideological lunacy, there's no other way to call it, the total and utter ruthlessness of this regime makes it uniquely dangerous. Uniquely dangerous not only to Israel and to the United States, but to everything in between and far beyond. And the fact that this is not recognized, you ask me, okay, what do people think? What did they think in the 30s? What did they think in the 30s? When you had a terrible, ruthless, killer regime led by a lunatic that took one country after the other, did it very sequentially. What did they say? They said what? They said, let's stay out of this. It's not our war. It's not our problem. Maybe it's only the Jews. Have we learned nothing, absolutely nothing in these 80 years? We cannot see the danger that lurks. It doesn't lurk. It's risen from the mud. It's right in our face. It's splattering blood right at us. I can't believe that that we're clueless. We're not clueless. I talk to many American friends.
It just sounds like to me, fam, like I've never heard a hard sell like this from a president. Normally you can say, hey, these are the facts. This is what we're doing, and take some questions. And then, okay, God bless Israel. God bless America. He gone. But it sounds like to me he's frustrated because people are not buying the story. Not only are Americans not buying the story, Iranians are not buying the story, Israelis are not buying the story. Israelis who were all gung-ho in the beginning, we're going to get them. All of a sudden, they're trying to get the hell up out of there. They're trying to fast track back to the United States, especially Israeli Americans. They're trying to get up out of there ASAP. Hey, no. Let's stop it. We don't want that. We don't want. Yeah, fam. They're trying to get up out of there. So he's trying to hard sell the people that the people are wrong and he knows better than everybody else. They know what they're doing. Everybody else is naive. That's basically what he's saying.
They're not clueless. They understand this. Some don't. Some are adamantly opposed, but many are adopting a wait-and-see attitude. But I can tell you that I've spoken, as I said a minute ago, I've spoken to many, many leaders. We're talking about dozens and dozens of leaders. And they all say the same thing. I understand it. Some of them come out and say it. They're bold. And some of them say, I don't know, I wish, I understand it, but some of my people don't, or my news media are against me and so on.
He's fishing. He's fishing. Some of them are saying he's trying to figure out what he's going to say right there just because he's making that shit up. He's making it up as he go along because he don't know what the hell. He just making stuff up, talking about somebody said this, somebody said that. The man just making it up. He's just making stuff up. Like, dude, what's up with that journalist that y'all arrested? You do know that they arrested the journalist that filmed out in front of his house after his house was decimated by Iranian missiles. They put the journalist in jail for doing the journalist's job. Now, I thought that journalists are supposed to have freedom of speech, freedom of press. What happened to the freedom of the press? Since, we're talking about liberation, we're talking about freedom, we're talking about looking out for the people. What happened to freedom of press? Sounds like to me, freedom is oppressed. You dig what I'm saying, fam? Yeah, I'm not feeling this at all. He got to go. Let me get him out of here. He got to go. Fam, they're talking about ground troops. Bottom line, ground troops. If the U.S. put boots on the ground, there are going to be thousands of casualties. You are going to see U.S. service members come back home in flag-draped caskets by the droves. You are going to see U.S. service members online, on live, crying to come back home. You're going to see their family members protesting the war and crying about their children, crying about their grandchildren, fighting an unjust war. You sitting in boots on the ground. First of all, just sending people over there to bomb on somebody to cover up the fact that you're involved in those Epstein files. That's number one. As a distraction, that's already diabolical. Now you're gonna send boots on the ground, then blowing up that school with those little girls in it, killing innocent people. No telling how many casualties that have already been racked up in Iran. And now you're talking about boots on the ground. You're talking about putting boots on the ground. You're talking about putting Americans on the ground to go out there into a foreign land and fight, not to liberate anybody, not to save somebody, but just kind of because you feel like it. You think it's fun. Because he said that, not me. Trump actually said that. He said that he was having fun. You know, the war was fun. It's having a good time. It's kind of fun. That's how people who ain't never had no fight act. That's how people who ain't got nothing to lose personally act. Because he know he ain't got to go over there and fight. He ain't sending his sons over there to fight. He not sending his daughter over there to fight. He definitely ain't going over there to fight. He already told you, man, look, I dodged the draft 5 times. If it was possible, I'd dodge it a 6th time. This is a man that's gotten more from the United States in the last year than perhaps anybody in the history of the United States. And he wouldn't fight for this country. But he wants you and your kids to go out there and fight for this country. Think about that. That's my time, fam. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.